5 members present for our meeting tonight, July 23rd. Call to order at, well, 7:05 on my watch and computer clock. Do we have any public participants?
I don't see anybody on
Minutes
the public.
first.
Oh, minutes. That's what I forgot to read today. Maybe Eric did.
No, I did not get a chance to look at them this week.
Okay. I forgot because it was not mentioned on the, I guess, I don't see it on the.
Yeah, I didn't receive the minutes. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We can't because of the passing.
Correct.
Ah.
So we'll table it.
Okay. Then it's time for reports from boards. Diane Jelleret and the Norwalk Historical Society.
Good evening, everyone. We had a busy last few weeks at the Norwalk Historical Society. I want to thank everybody who came to our events. The Mill Hill Garden Party at the end of June was fun. We had excellent weather, and we would like to thank the building community through music and Tulip Tree Site Design for helping to sponsor it. Again, we loved it, and everybody else had a great time. And exploring Mill Hill. People didn't want to leave. They were into the dark on that evening. We also did the Independence Day celebration and bell ringing. Our town clerk, Rick McQuaid, read the Declaration of Independence, and we had Senator Bob Duff and our Council President Barbara Smith, and our youngest member of the audience rang the bell and read the names of the 13 original colonies on July 4th. Next, we had it was just happened on Sunday. We fought at Gettysburg, a author talk with Carolyn Albanoff. It was great. So this was, this told about, the travels to Gettysburg during the Civil War, and that occurred actually in July. So one of the reasons we had her do her talk during July, just kind of imagine just walking through to Gettysburg in the heat, no AC, there was no such thing. So we had a really good talk with Carolyn, and it was also a book signing with her. Upcoming events, it's going to go into September. We're going to have a concert, but this time at the Norwalk Historical Society Museum. And it's going to be on Thursday, September 18th at 6:30, a night at the museum with the band Cooked Up. And again, it's a collaboration with Building Community Through Music. So everyone enjoys it. Please come to the museum. The backyard is looking fantastic. The plantings, and I'm noticing people are coming from the buildings and having lunch outside, hanging out. Weddings are occurring at our gazebo. It's been very nicely decorated by a couple of justices of the peace. So come hang out there at some point. And the other thing is Mill Hill Historic Park is open on Saturdays and Sundays. It started July 5th. And it's going to be open every Saturday, Sunday until Sunday, August 24th. So let people know that it is open on weekends and the inside of the buildings. So the grounds are always open, but the buildings are open every weekend till August 24th. And the next thing is we're again going to be starting to work on the America 250 with the town, and our first meeting is going to be July 31st. So we're going to start really pulling that together with the city for Norwalk. But right now, that's it. We're making plans for other events and happenings for the rest of the year. So you'll hear about that come the next meeting. Any questions?
Diane, did you mention the beer tasting and barbecue?
Oh, how could I forget? Yes,
How
one
could
more.
you forget?
Yes, next Thursday, July 31st. How could I forget? July 31st, there is a beer tasting and barbecue bites. It is a fundraiser for the Norwalk Historical Society, and it starts at 6. Tickets are online. They're $35. And if you don't buy them online, they're $45 at the door. So I encourage you to buy them online. It's fun. Greg Glaser, who has done a lot of her tastings, is back again to lead the tasting on beers in New England. So it's always a surprise what he's going to bring this time. He always brings something different. So it's always fun. And you know, so if you can make it and help support the Norwalk Historical Society, please do. As I said, it's on our website. And e-blast, if you're on our email list, you've probably already gotten a couple of e-blasts, and it's on a couple of online sites too. So there we go. Thank you, Liz.
He does a great job. I mean, I went to the last one. I haven't been to the bar, but he's terrific, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Thanks, Diane. Okay, next up is, where are they? Susie Gilligore for Lockwood Matthews Mansion, or who's ever here for that. Where we have 9 participants. Gosh, I don't see anyone here from the mansion. Well, maybe I'll show in a bit. Next up is reports on buildings. David, anything? Okay.
Sure. I'm hopefully going to meet with Neil Rennie from Facilities sometime tomorrow to go over the bids for the roof replacement at the Gate Lodge at Matthews Park. The ones I saw were actually much less expensive than I originally thought. So that will be good for our budget. So hopefully we'll get that sorted out. He's also working on, I may have mentioned this last time, he's working on bids for replacing the security systems at Mill Hill and at the museum because those systems don't work anymore, the video security systems. I'm working on getting 2 additional quotes to finish repairing and painting the veranda at the mansion. Hope to get that done, that work done in August or September, and finally have that mess cleaned up. The Mill Hill shed that I mentioned last time, I've got 3 quotes. I'm just reconfirming one of the quotes, and then hope to get that ordered to be installed at Mill Hill in September or October. On the jail, the architects are working feverishly with the mechanical engineering company on the mechanicals for the interior of the jail, planning to have the bid package finalized to go out to bid this fall so that construction can start in the spring and we can finally finish the jail, which was damaged from the fire in 2010. So we're right on track 15 years into it. That's it. That's all I have.
Great. Cemeteries, I just noticed it's kind of time for Mill Hill to get some D2. I just went after the Gettysburg talk. Do you have any other talk cemetery stuff, David?
No, just still working with the Boy Scout was going to do Pine Island this fall, but I haven't heard back from him, so that may slip. But we'll see. But yeah, you're right. The Mill Hill needs some D2. I'm sure Brookside does as well.
Yeah,
So
I haven't really
it looks pretty bad.
look for sticks and whatnot.
So
And I guess either we get D2 or we find another source for that because Atlas isn't selling it anymore, and I don't know the verdict on his new product, so
They're not?
no, there's been a break between them, so
Oh, no.
that's sort of,
Well, we
he's
can get
got
it
a new
some,
product, but
we can get it somewhere else.
yeah, yep. Maybe direct from D2.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's the cleaner we use on,
Yeah.
tombstones and cemeteries.
approved by the Department of the Interior, so. Financials, oh, do we have to talk about the other stuff now, or is that later? Budget summary, or is that new business?
Well, I put under financials, I
Okay,
hope all of you got the, reports that I sent out.
I did, yes.
I can go over those briefly. There's not a lot to tell. The first one in the package that you got was basically the year-end summary for how we did in 24-25, if you have that in front of you. We had a total budget of $324,000. We spent all but $7,730. We were 2.4% under budget. So I thought that was pretty good. For the year.
So, David, just if I'm looking at this, is the original balance is the budget,
Yeah,
and then expenses what we paid.
that's what
And
we spent.
POs are what is outstanding right now or
Yes.
accrued, and
Yeah.
then in the balance is the residual amount that's left over.
Correct.
Okay.
And so, and I don't know if there's any questions on that. I'm happy to try to answer them. The next one is the budget summary for 25-26, which looks fairly similar to last year's, except that facilities maintenance has added some budget lines in budgeting, because again, we're in this weird transition period where they're managing and I'm managing some and we're managing. So it's kind of in between, but they added several lines to it: plumbing, heating, electrical, other contractual services, and they upped the budget in a few areas. The grants budget went up $20,000 over the year. The thing of note is that, which you'll see on the capital budget when we look at that next, there was every year we got about $10,000 from the city for working on the museum collection, for conservation work and archiving and doing things to protect the city's collection. The CFO of the city decided that shouldn't be a capital expense, that should be expensed. So he put an additional $10,000 in our other professional services budget, and took it out of the capital budget. So those are kind of the major changes. The only money that we've spent when this report was generated was giving out the grants to the Historical Society and Lockwood Matthews Mansion. But there's nothing else has been charged because this budget came into effect July 1st. So, things will start hitting it as we start spending money. You'll see next month. So.
David, I do have one question. Can you go into other professional services? We are getting budget for next fiscal year of $24,650. That's like a 250% increase from the previous year. Can you provide some detail on that budget increase and generally what that account is supposed to be for?
So, so the budget increase was for what I just mentioned. It was the CFO didn't want the money we spent on conservation work on the city's museum collection to be charged to the capital budget. He wanted it in the expense budget. And every year we got $10,000 or so for that work in the capital budget. So he moved it over into expense. So that's the increase.
Okay.
The budget we spend there for other professional services are for things like updating the National Register nomination for Lockwood Matthews Mansion, for coming up with the narratives that we want to put on the interpretive signs we've developed. It's a real catch-all. It's just things that doesn't fit in, that's not really about repairing a building. But we do a little, some of that. We have graphics work done on occasion. That kind of stuff. Does that answer your question? I'll think of some more examples.
No, yeah, it does. It's just kind of a as you said, a catch-all for things that don't fit into the other.
Yeah, and it's
just a significant bump, and I just want to understand exactly why that bump is as significant as it is. But from what I understand, the city wants us into an expense account, not into just a capital slush kind of pot. I got it.
So.
Yeah, that's not just in the historical commission, it's throughout all the departments. They're moving a lot of that out. There's a lot of expense items that get caught up in the capital budget that don't belong there. But I did have one question though. We're talking about the opportunity in the new ordinance to bring some expert assistance or expert help in. It would seem that we've got a couple of $1,000s in that other professional line as well. And overall, it's $7,000 left over from last year's budget, which shows us that in this year is only pretty much the same. So it looks like we might have some money there to spend on getting those expert evaluations of some of the buildings that are on the demo list.
So the leftover money from the expense budget just goes away. It's not, we don't get to carry that forward. That's spend it or lose it. And
right.
I try to come pretty close to, we were 2.4% under budget. But yeah, if we have some play in the other professional services. So if we need a couple $1,000s, that's probably something we could squeeze in there. I wouldn't start with a new budget line for that. I think we should just try to drop our existing budget and then see if that needs to become something else. If it's
no, exactly.
Just curious about why the cemetery work and WPA murals are broken up the way they are.
So moving on to the capital budget, and there is, I just right before this meeting started, I realized that the top of the capital report got cut off.
Oh,
you can see Lockwood Matthews Mansion code and repairs. There's a total available balance of 218,000, and you don't have the detail for all of that above that. But I'll have that fixed for the next meeting. Your question, what happened was I need to just have that fixed at some point. When we got a new capital budget award for cemeteries, they put it under a different number, so it shows up in a different place.
Okay.
That's the only reason. There's nothing intelligent behind that.
And the same with the WPA murals.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's just general. You don't have anything planned yet for certain murals, or?
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do. Okay.
We have some work that needs to be done on the transit. The murals that are at the Transit Authority at the city.
Wilson Avenue.
Those are currently stored in the health department because they're doing their multi-year massive renovation. But those are going to have some work before they go back out again. We're also revising the WPA mural exhibit at the museum, and that will take a little bit of money. The majority of this money was planned for restoring the mural Ben Franklin.
Right.
But we haven't logistically figured out how to do that with the tenants that are in there.
Mm.
And it just always falls to the bottom of the priority list, frankly.
Yeah.
That's what that money is mostly for.
Okay. Just curious about back on 24-25, what is Rollins Inc.? I don't remember what that was, what company that was.
Where are you looking?
First, I'm back to FY 24-25 buildings, Rollins Inc.
That's some company that facilities uses. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure it was facilities. Okay.
Is this all done by NOR Facilities, Alan Lowe's group? Do they just charge these accounts then?
Yes,
Okay.
but they don't. They charge the accounts. I submit invoices to go to the accounts, and it's not a clean process, and we're trying to work that out over the next year.
Okay.
So that eventually it's all them.
Yeah. So in the 25-26 budget, it's hard to, I didn't add these up in my head, but does this reflect more? I think you mentioned that this 25-26 reflects more maintenance on the city's rather than your going out and doing the maintenance or getting somebody to do maintenance.
Yes, and they've increased the budget lines. Like they added a budget line for plumbing and heating for $6,500.
Right.
They added they increased the other repair. I don't know why I had other repairs $172, but they increased it to $69.72, and so they've gone in and increased it, which is fine because they're starting to maintain Mill Hill buildings and the buildings at Matthews Park. They've pretty much completely taken over the Gate Lodge, which is great. But I still have things done, and I always coordinate with Neil before I do anything. I don't run off and do something without him knowing. But
this doesn't show up in their budget. This shows up in this budget.
We keep it in the historical commission budget, so that it's clear what we're spending.
Okay.
We started to do that, and we pulled back on that a couple of years ago because it's cleaner this way for now.
Yeah.
So the capital report, which is the last page, I think that we've been we spend our money down. The highlights I'll point out: Smith Street buildings, we got an additional $375,000, giving us a total of $466,000. That's all going to be used for the jail interior. Hopefully that's enough. We got a little more money for Mill Hill to do the security systems this year. Up at the top, we got another $75,000 for the mansion. We're planning on hiring conservators to do a plan to do a full restoration of the exterior of the mansion. But we have to write a spec in order to do that. And this money is to pay professionals who know what they're doing to say, this is the kind of mortar you need to use. This is where you need to remortar. These are the things that need to be remade. These are the wood that needs to be replaced around the windows. This is the paint you used, all that sort of thing. That's the kind of thing that can't be done by volunteers. It can't really be done by facility staff. You need professionals who are familiar with historic buildings to do that. That's the other big item. The other big bunch of money that we have is in Lockwood House ADA. Lockwood House is the historical name for the museum building at City Hall. It was originally called Lockwood House. We chose not to call it that anymore because it's way too confusing with with Lockwood Matthews Mansion. That building was donated. The funding, money for it was donated by the Lockwood family. It was in Norwalk that is not really related to the Lockwood Matthews Mansion family, unless you go back to 1650. But so that's for the museum. We're planning a renovation of the basement, which I think I've mentioned a couple times, and we'll hopefully pull the trigger on that sometime later this year, because we've got 380,000 set aside for that. Although that may not be enough, but we're still working with the architects on that.
With an additional 150, which will,
Well, no, the
yeah, or is that,
150 is included in the 380.
oh, okay, but was that more we got this year? It seems to be,
That's what we got this year, yeah.
oh, okay.
But we'll probably do that project in phases. We'll probably gut it, and then is phase 1, and then we'll
Right.
really accurately estimate the rest of the project. But the first thing is we have to move everything out of the basement, which is a pretty formidable task at the moment. So those are the numbers. Any questions?
Looks good. Better get, looking at this capital budget, you better get to work. You got a lot of money to spend.
I know, and I know I'm worried about, I like our new CFO a lot, but I'm worried he's a lot smarter. And he's made it clear that we need to spend the capital money or give it back. And I don't like giving it back. So
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they take a look at that, and then, particularly when you've got it from maybe 1 or 2 years ago and haven't spent it, everybody gets pretty anxious about that.
yeah, anyway. I'm not giving anything up.
You don't want to get that other, you don't want that other Jellorette guy to see what's going on.
Exactly. Exactly. Leave us alone.
All right, that rounds up the report section. Do we have any old business? Guess not. New business.
Michelle, the demo delay or the demolition, pre-demolition applications, those come up for the next meeting?
Are you asking like the ones that like recently that I forwarded over to you guys?
Yes.
So those don't really come onto your radar unless there is an objection in. So those just get notified, and then it's up to the public, whoever can object to it. And then once there's an objection in place, then there's something you guys can.
Right. And we haven't had anything yet.
Nope, I just got the notification, so I forwarded them over. But yeah, and I took a look at both of them. I forget the addresses. I know one was that garage. I think on North.
Yep.
Yeah,
North.
But it's that one in the back that doesn't look too
right.
looks like it needs to
Right.
come down. And then there's
It might
another
just
one.
fall down. In the
Yeah.
paper, it had 6 and 8 garages, but so what if we see something that's really needs to be looked at? It has to be someone other than us to make a complaint or put in the delay.
Well, how the current language says, ultimately anybody could put an objection in, including
Okay.
commissioners. How we're writing up a draft of a new ordinance, which gives you guys a little more power. You guys would have to opt out of making those objections because you guys are acting in a different degree. So currently, you could put an objection in, but maybe not in the future.
Right. Sounds like we need to get the public on board.
Well, that's what the Norwalk Preservation Trust is supposed to do.
Huh.
They're the advocacy group, and In fact, they're supposed to be copied on, at least for a while, long time they were copied on the delays that came through. And Todd would file an objection when there was an issue. So,
Hmm.
you know, they're active. They've raised a lot of money. That's what they're supposed to do,
Hmm.
is advocate and fight for preserving things.
Can
Can
we
we
confirm that
get-
they're getting these notifications?
Yeah,
Huh, yeah.
They were used to be, I don't know, I never read the new ordinance, but in the old one, they were part of the chain that the building inspector had to notify them as well.
if that's, maybe we should work that into our ordinance too. If
Yeah,
they're supposed to
that-
get it,
I was just thinking the same
Particularly
thing.
if they're
making
the
sure-
advocacy group that's gonna talk for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I was on the commission, that's kind of how we always ran it, because it made it so that the commission wasn't doing the objecting. They were, and we were just addressing it. So it felt
Right.
cleaner that way.
Ah,
Yeah, we're gonna wanna probably, in addition to the drafted language that we have with just the general public notice in the local newspapers, make sure XYZ bodies are also informed in some way, shape, and form, whether that's through, their email address, a point of contact that we have over there. But yeah, we should draft that language and put into the, drafted ordinance.
Yeah, I'll double check what's existing and what's proposed, because I know, yeah, Bill's in charge of coordinating, making sure that that the applicant is doing the proper notification, so, they very might well be doing it right now, but I'll make sure that it's codified in the language that we propose.
I mean, we can be the ones, to, in theory, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the applicant is the one who puts it in the paper, then we can be the ones, or, whoever, to notify the advocacy community.
How did
well,
they do it?
that's not a
City.
city group, is it?
No,
It's
it's
an-
The Preservation Trust, no.
So it would be up to them to check to see
Mhm.
whether there were any notices coming through. Although I don't see why the building department couldn't just add them to the distribution list too.
Right.
They used to, and he may still be doing it, but they used to do it.
Yeah, Bill will add anybody that is interested, any neighborhood group that wants to be looped in on any demolition, he'll add anybody that
Yeah.
is wanting to be notified.
Yeah, I mean, it's public information. It's not a big deal. It's not a secret.
Right.
I mean, just sort of looking at the Preservation Trust website, they haven't updated their recent news in about a year.
They just had a
I
big,
don't
big
hear anything
fundraiser.
about them.
they had a big fundraiser at Fodor Farm like
Right.
2 months ago.
Okay.
They're still active. Like I said, they have a lot of money.
They get a lot
Start
of money,
emailing them.
keep it quiet.
I just want to let you know, they're still active. I'm always referring people to the Preservation Trust, so it
Okay.
works.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Diane.
Something to
Okay,
keep in mind.
I have a request.
Yeah,
If we could get a copy of the agenda with our meeting notification.
The agenda, it should have went out, the system's newer with a link, I thought maybe I missed this month, but usually. I'll send out the email with the link to the agenda, so all the agendas are now like technically online, it's not like an attachment or a PDF. So just keep an eye out there, that it's not gonna be embedded, yeah. it's gonna
Okay.
be linked.
Thank
I
you.
thought it was today, but not, yeah, it wasn't the same. Other times I've had to hunt for it. But
It
just
was in the
seems
email
easier.
that Michelle sent.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
I
it's
send
got all, it should,
many
if there's
emails.
any backup information, it's in there as well. The whole package should be.
Right, the
Okay.
minutes, everything, the materials for the meeting will all be online through a link.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point there. If you don't see it, you can always go online to the city.
Right.
And they're all there. All the agendas and the meeting minutes and all that stuff is there.
Okay. So we need to maybe give the Nora Preservation Trust a little poke in the backside to be more aware of the demolition delays. Because I think there's a lot of stuff on the in the queue projects we don't really know everything about. So if you check out the P&Z meetings, there's stuff coming up. But other than that,
Well, that's the one thing. I don't know if you guys addressed this, and maybe you know, Michelle, but the big loophole for demolitions always was that a project would go to zoning, especially bigger projects would go to zoning. They would have demolitions in them. Zoning would approve them, and then they would file their demo permits. And the Historical Commission would go crazy and say, no, you can't, do that building, but they already have their zoning approval and they have millions of dollars of financing lined up. It's a real nightmare.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've figured out how to close that loophole, but that is a loophole. For a while, Kleppen included us on, and then Liz Suchy, I'm remembering all this, Liz Suchy objected, said it wasn't actually part of the zoning code that he did that. And then he was supposed to put it back in, but I don't think he ever did in the new zoning rewrite. So you need to follow up on that.
Michelle, let's
Yes.
make sure we talk about that in our next meeting when we talk about the ordinance.
Sure, yeah.
I hate demolitions.
yeah, I'm
Okay,
not sure.
David, I'd want to find out a little more about that,
Yeah, I mean,
dig into it.
Well, I think that was one of the reasons why the ordinance was changed about 2 years ago anyway. It was because of the timing of it. And so we were trying to address the timing and make it move along a little bit more briskly. But I agree. I don't, I was unaware that they could bury a demolition in a large building project, and we'd never know about it. What happened with the Wells Fargo building on Cemetery Street? I mean, there was, I know Diane Cece actually put a
Demo delay.
the demo delay in on that. But
that was, yeah, because it wasn't historical, although it was over 50 years old. She was just trying to put out a speed bump or something, but.
Yeah.
That was classic abuse of someone attempting to abuse the demolition delay ordinance.
Exactly.
Nothing historical about the building. It didn't meet any of the criteria. I mean, I wasn't involved, but it was, to me, that's what you don't want to happen. But people can do what they want.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what they have planned for 6 and 8 North Main and the not North Main, 6 and 8 North Street and the 2 on Main Street, but I haven't seen any plans, although except for the I know they bought all those 4 buildings in January. I'm not sure what they have planned there for putting in other units of housing.
And were they do a hotel and then they backed out of the hotel and now it's something else?
I don't remember a hotel being there, but
They were going to add to the hotel next door on Main Street.
Right.
no, is that North Main, South Main? think that's South Main. Problem with Norwalk has too many streets named Main, but so South Main, we're not sure what's going on with that. But this is up in, we'll say, Midtown Norwalk.
You mean off Wall Street?
Yeah, off Wall Street. So there's 4 buildings, one in the middle that they don't own, but not sure what they have planned. And that at least one of those houses has a plaque from the Historical Society.
This
So
was, it was on Wall Street or it was on
it's off, well, if you go down Wall Street and go up to North
Mill Hill?
Street and Cross Street intersection, that's where it's happening, where
Oh,
the,
okay, okay.
yeah. Keeping us on our toes. So keep your brains cooking on what we can keep ahead of rollover project, for lack of a better term. And maybe we're coming up to the favorite part of the meeting for Eric. What might
Hey,
that be?
Jim, you've just been nominated again. You have the honor.
What, me? Oh,
No, Jim,
Jim, okay.
Might be the only, it might
just
be the
celebrate
only,
your renomination.
it might be the only
All right.
motion that I get approved this week. So I moved that we adjourn.
I second.
I'll third.
That's it. That's the first time I won a motion so far in 2 meetings this week.
So we have to
Great.
vote, Dana.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Wonderful.
Are we meeting in August?
We are not,
All right.
unless something important.
Like the song says then, see you in September.
Or if
All right.
not
Have a
sooner.
great
Oh,
rest of
wait.
the summer,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Have a
Good night. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.